This is the first of a new playlist of videos to do with the very basics of sociology, to do with culture and norms and socialization and all that sort of business. So if you're watching this for revision, this is what you did right at the start of year 10, the very first lesson, culture, to begin to think about this idea. Look at the keywords as you go through them, get to the lesson that'll hopefully become obvious. So, culture. Humans behave in different ways. We're not all the same. Humans from different parts of the world, different periods of time, behave differently because we have different cultures. Here we have females, and they're wearing different clothes and behaving in different ways. Yeah. Humans do not have many instincts, not born knowing what to do. Instead, we have to learn our culture. So, culture is learned and shared behavior. That's the definition. Learned and shared. You've got to learn how to behave, and the group you're in must all share that behavior, all behave the same way. Learned and shared. So learning can be formal, meaning school, or informal, your mates, media, that sort of thing. But the various ways we have to learn how to behave. A good example, the best example, I suppose, is language. When you are born, you cannot speak and you cannot understand language, and you spend the first few years of your life learning language, formally and informally. You've got to understand what other people are saying. So not only do you have to learn language, the language you learn must be shared by everybody around you. Learned and shared. It's no good your family teaching you that a dog is called a Wuggerhumptermuff, because when you're older, you might know what you mean by that, but the people around you, because they don't share your language, won't know what Wuggerhumptermuff means, and you won't know what dog means. Why do we have to do this? Because humans are born with fewer instincts than other animals. Key word, instinct. We have a lot less of them than other animals. Therefore, we have to learn things. Think about insect babies, bee babies. There's no such thing. A bee is born knowing everything it needs to know to survive, and it can't learn. Other animals, mammals like lions, you see nice documentaries, they're born, they're cubs for a couple of years. They don't have that much to learn. They can learn in a couple of years. Now compare that to us. We are helpless for several years. That's because we got a lot to learn, our culture. The list of things we've got to learn is long. We've got to learn to walk, to talk, to share things. In our culture, you've got to learn to read and write. You've got to learn what to eat and what you can't eat. You've got to learn when violence is allowed and not allowed. You've got to learn right and wrong. We call it our conscience. You've got to learn what you are allowed to do in your culture and what you are not allowed to do. It's got to get inside your head so you know to do certain things and not to do certain things just because you know it. Because if you do certain things, you feel bad, you feel guilty. And that's your conscience, and you've learned it. And if you do not learn this part of our culture properly, then you are mad. You are what we call psychopathic. You can do bad things and don't feel bad about it because you have no conscience, because your culture, you weren't taught right from wrong.